We've set up an information picket at the gateway to Manning Park to explain to people that International Forest Products has plans, has asked the provincial government for permission to build a logging road through Manning Park in order to log out old-growth forest, which is the habitat of the endangered spotted owl. Right up here, just above the park, mile down the road, they want to punch their logging road through the park in order to log down that endangered species habitat. And we're here to gather names on a petition to make sure that Interfor never gets permission to put a road through the park and doesn't get permission to log that endangered species habitat from the provincial government. We're here to defend Manning Park. The company has already gone into the park and slashed, blazed trees and spray painted them and put ribbon on them to mark their proposed logging road through the park. And they call this marking a road location. I call it vandalism. This is a provincial park. There is no legal way that I understand that somebody can come in here with an axe and a spray paint and do this in a provincial park. That's why we're here, to make sure that these slash marks and spray paint fade one day and never become a logging road in a provincial park. This is spotted owl territory. Spotted owls live in these old forests here. Spotted owl is a federally listed endangered species because we're down to about 25 known breeding pairs of spotted owls left in their range, which is southwestern British Columbia. Now, at one time, it was estimated there were over 500 breeding pairs. So, you know, they've really come down. And since 1996, they've come down by 40%. So we have a species here that is really on death's door here in Canada. Now, the area adjoining Manning Park, where Interfor, you see, wants to build their road through this beautiful forest to get to the area adjoining, that's an area where spotted owls live. In fact, it's a designated area for spotted owls by the provincial government. And yet Interfor has proposed putting these big clear cuts all throughout this habitat. And logging, commercial logging, is the #1 threat. It's the reason why spotted owls are endangered in the first place. If we don't stop logging spotted owl habitat in British Columbia, the biologists, provincial government biologists, have told us that we have between 5 and 10 years before we'll see the extinction of this species in Canada, in British Columbia here. Well, we've been hiking about 2 hours up from where our information kiosk is on Highway number 3 in Manning Park. We've been following International Forest Products ribbons and slash marks in the trees where they've marked the logging road they want to build. And we've now come right through the park, and we're now outside the park in the spotted owl conservation area in the middle of this magnificent Douglas fir forest that just blankets the mountainsides on both sides of Manning Park and Highway 3. This is the area where Interfor wants to clear cut. We're right down over here is 18 Mile Creek, and across the mountainside over here is 20 Mile Creek. Between 18 Mile and 20 Mile and right up 20 Mile valleys, Interfor wants to place these cut blocks. As we've been hiking up through this forest today, we've been sort of looking over our shoulder because there's grizzly bears in this forest. This is the western slope of the Cascade Range, and this, of all the places in British Columbia, this is where the government is putting its best effort to try and recover the population of grizzly bears. That's because their neighbors to the south, and the U.S. border is just a short way to the south, want grizzly bears back in their North Cascades National Park. And that's why it's so important that companies, logging companies like Interfor, not be allowed to log these last few wilderness valleys, like 18 Mile Creek and 20 Mile Creek. These are important refuge areas for grizzly mothers and cubs. So this is the Royal Engineers Trail, and this trail was built in the late 1850s by the Royal Engineers, also known as the Sappers. And these were military guys whose job it was to build the trails and to lay out the roads in early colonial British Columbia. This trail was built at a time before the U.S. Civil War. It was built 10 years before Custer's last stand. And you can see here it's all built by hand. And the incredible thing is International Forest Products has proposed to build a logging road right through here. And this is in Manning Provincial Park. It's a very popular hiking trail. People come from all over the province to hike along this trail. Further up you get to Mount Outram. But it's also an important part of British Columbia heritage. And it boggles the mind to think that not only is International Forest Products proposing to build a logging road through Manning Park, they're proposing to cut down the habitat of an endangered species, the spotted owl. But they're also proposing to push their road right through this incredible heritage site, the Engineers Trail, that so many gold miners hiked along on their way to Rock Creek during the gold rush time of 1861. Down below at our information kiosk, people are lining up to sign the petition, and we've now got just about several hundred names on that petition just over the weekend. We will now take those petitions, which call for no road building in Manning Park and no logging of the spotted owl habitat. We'll take those to the minister in charge of the environment, in charge of our parks, and that's the Honorable Joyce Murray. We'll take it to her and ask that she present it to the House and call for an end to any more logging in spotted owl habitat and an end to building, planning a logging road through Manning Park. We need to get different policy here in British Columbia that stops the logging of old growth spotted owl habitat, just like this in 18 and 20 Mile Creek, and prevents Interfor from even cutting down trees in parks. It boggles the mind that this company simply knows no bounds, and that's why we need new and stronger legislation.